20 bucks. 20 bucks. On the line for 20 bucks. Hi guys. Welcome to Mrs. Calabash Cooks. I'm Maggie. Come into my kitchen. You see, I've got a table spread with goodies today. And to begin with, this is all special for Super Bowl. I thought rather than do chicken wings, which everybody's got their own special recipe for chicken wings, I do something a little bit different. So I'm going to make some French fried onion rings. These are onion rings in batter. And a stir-fried chicken breast. This is a stir-fry with a difference. It's an Indian stir-fry. And we're going to put it in pita bread with some salad or coleslaw or whatever you like on the top of it, and finger food. So have plenty of serviettes because it's messy. So to begin with, I sliced a rather large onion. I'm making half the recipe, so I've only done one onion because there's only two of us, and I can make some more. They don't take long to make if we need them. I'm rather partial to onion rings, so if I make them, I eat them. So I do sort of ration myself. So I like to soak them in milk for at least half an hour. A nice big ring. Use a large onion. I made them once with little onions, and we ate more batter than we did onion. So the idea of soaking them in milk, it takes away the tartness of the onions. It makes them nice and sweet. Use any colour onion, red, pink, yellow, sweet onion. It's up to you. And the batter that I'm making today is actually a batter which the fish and chip shops use in England. So it doesn't have any eggs in it, but it has baking soda, vinegar. I use a white vinegar, and you can see that it all fizzes up, water. And the baking soda is the raising agent. And I'm going to add this to the flour and beat it until it's nice and smooth. As I say, I've only made a little today, and I'll make some more later just to show you how to do it. Now, I'm going to leave that for about, until I make the chicken, so that the starch grains can burst. We might have to add just a little more water to that. It depends on your flour. I'm going to put a drop of water in here to be on the safe side. There we are. We can leave that on the side for the moment, like that. And this, I like to have some flour, because when I've strained and patted the onion rings dry, I just like to put them in the flour, gives them something for the batter to cling to. And now I've put some salt and pepper in there. You can put herbs in there. You could put some curry powder in there, because that's very popular in England. Curry powder in the batter. And I know we've got strange tastes. And so make that any way that you like. You could put some cayenne pepper in there if you wanted a bit of a bite to it. So let's go back to the stove and start with the chicken. I've got here, I've started to cook the onions and the dried peppers just until the onions are starting to turn brown. And I've used coconut oil today. You can use coconut oil or canola oil, but I thought coconut oil gives a nice mellow flavour. And in here I've got, these are two very, very small chicken wings, chicken breasts. I've got chicken wings on the mind. Two very, very small chicken breasts, which I've cut very, very thinly and made, oh, that has a bite to it, and made into just bite-sized pieces. And in this bowl, I've put ginger, cayenne pepper, garlic, turmeric, no, not turmeric, turmeric's going to go in later, ginger, lemon juice. So we're going to mix all that together and just put it over the chicken like that. You could let this marinate for about half an hour if you wanted, but mix it all in together and it has a lovely flavour to it. Let's turn that heat up a little bit and put the chicken in. Stir the chicken around so that all the spices and the ginger and the garlic all mix in together. And this is why we cut them in nice small pieces. A, they're going to go into a sandwich, a sort of sandwich, so you don't want a big chunk. And B, it cooks quickly. When you remember, oh dear, that is strong. When you remember, this dish originated in India, so they would only have one burner. And so they haven't got a lot of time, and they'll probably be originally out in the sun, so they don't want to be standing cooking for a long time. We just need, I'm going to add a drop more oil to that. The chilies get you. It clears out the sinuses, believe you me. Now, I like to use a liquid coconut oil, but you can use the solid. That really works well, doesn't it? You can use the solid oil. Let's just put that there. A drop more water in there. There we are. It managed to spill my water. There we are. I'm going to add to this a tablespoon full of yogurt. Stir it until it disappears. Some recipes say put the yogurt in before you put the chicken, but they all go in together. It's 2 tablespoons full of yogurt. I like to use, if I'm cooking with yogurt, I like to use a full fat yogurt. And then it doesn't separate. Let's turn that up. Now we're going to add some turmeric to that. Now turmeric's very good for you. It has been advised that you eat something with turmeric in it every day as you get older. Cardamom pods. These are the cardamom pods. Just going to put them in there. They add a sweetness to it, like that. Now we're going to add the water, turn it down and put a lid on it, and that's going to cook. It doesn't take long to cook because the chicken is so fine. We add a little water to that. I'm just going to add a little seasoning at this stage. Drop more water. Now, has it reached you? The spices have just reached Derek at the other end of the house. He's coughing. I want to taste this before I add any more seasoning. Yes, it's quite spicy, but it just needs a little salt and pepper. Don't forget, this is a Mrs. Calabash seasoning mix. It's 3 salt to 1 pepper. And that will give you a nice mixture. Okay. Let's move that over to the other burner. Put a lid on so that all the liquid goes, but the vapors go back down, and the flavours stay in the pan. And we're going to cook this until the chicken's cooked through, and then we can remove the cover and actually just evaporate the liquid as much as we want. I'm going to make, I think I might make mine quite a little bit creamy rather than too dry today. So let's see. So we keep that over there like that. And now we're going to make the French onion rings. I've got, as you can see, a deep pot, canola oil. And I don't have a thermometer, so this is done just by eye. But if you've got a thermometer, 375 Fahrenheit or about 190 Celsius. Strain, you can reuse the oil, you don't have to throw it away, but strain it after each use, especially if you've got something like we're doing today with batter, because you get the crispy bits. And when you go to the fish and chip shop in England, you always ask for the crispy bits to put on as well. It's special, they keep them on one side. And also, if you're really, really careful, you should actually have one oil for proteins, like if you find fish or chicken, anything, and another oil for your vegetables, because the protein does affect the oil. I'm not that much of a specialist, so I must confess I do tend to fry my fish and chips in the same oil. I shouldn't do, but I do. And so let's go back. So now we're going to do the onion rings. We've got to let that get warm. In fact, it's got to get hot. So leave that on there. Come, let's go back to the butcher block. So now, as you can see, we've got the onion rings. I'm going to strain the milk from the onion rings, so let me just strain these. Like that. This is where kitchen paper really comes into its own. So I'm going to put those, spread them on the kitchen paper like that. I won't have enough batter for all these, but I will keep them in the fridge and make some more tomorrow. I can eat, as I say, I can eat these any time. I love them. Let's just spread those. I even cook the little bits, whoops, the little bits like that from the centre of the onion. I don't throw anything away. There we are. Put that over there. Let's just, I want to dry that out. Like that. So we need the onion rings just dipped in flour like this. I find fingers are the easiest way to do it, because without that the batter won't stick, or it will stick but won't stick as well. But you get an awful lot of onion rings out of one large onion. Just shake off any excess flour. If you think you've got too much flour, shake it off like that. Like that. I was lucky when I went shopping, I found some really, really nice big onions, just the sort I was looking for. Make sure that they're separated. You don't want to fry two together at once. If you like me, you can't peel and slice onions without crying. So I would suggest that if you've got guests, you do this before anybody arrives, and have it prepared to this stage, and then all you've got to do, because the batter's made, just stick it in the batter, fry, and they're ready in a matter of seconds. Well, minutes, it doesn't take long. And then you have nice, fresh, hot onion rings ready for the party. You see, that's just from one onion. So it shows you how many. It was a large onion, but I haven't made enough batter to cook all that lot. I will make some more later. But look, that's just from one onion. When you think how much you pay for onion rings in a restaurant. I'm going to wash my hands now. Look, yuck. Make sure the water's hot, otherwise it all coagulates on your fingers. There's one that has escaped. Wipe down the board. And let's go back to the back of the stove. I think it should be ready. Excuse me. It's only fizzy water, unfortunately, but the spices have got to me. There we are. Right, over here. Not quite hot enough yet. I'm not surprised it hasn't lit. Come on. Why hasn't it lit? Come on. There we are. Possibly because I was trying to light the back one instead of the front one. Oh well. All in the day's work. Let's give this a stir. That is looking rather nice. I'm going to give that a taste because we can now start evaporating some of that liquid. Let's have a taste. Oh yes. It's nice, it's spicy, but that liquid needs to come down. But imagine that in a nice pita bread, at the bottom of a pita bread, and then I've got some Italian salad I'm going to put on top. Just to, you could put, it's rather nice, put into a pita bread and put some Indian chutney on, anything, coleslaw, or in India they take it on picnics. They make a big dish and it can be eaten cold or it can be eaten hot. So it can be eaten as a picnic dish, it can be served over rice, and it can be served over noodles. Here we are. I need, where are we? Let's have a look at this batter. That is just a little bit thick. I'm going to add a drop more water. What did I do with the water? There we are. I want it to cling, but I don't want it to be too thick and cloggy. You see, I've used an English recipe, and the flours in England aren't as, I keep saying this, but they aren't as hard as they are here. So it will take a little bit more liquid sometimes than I use an all-purpose flour. If you use a cake flour, it won't take as much. It won't take as much liquid because it's a softer flour. I'm going to test. See if it's cooked. Yep, the batter rises to the top straight away. So here we go. Because we don't want the batter to be too hot, because it will cook. The fat will cook if it's too hot. It will cook the batter and not cook the onions. And don't over. There's a tendency you think, oh, I've got to get going. I've got to get going, and that's a bit of stringy onion there, and to overload your pan, which is silly, because then they don't cook. They don't cook as well. But I can get another little one in there. Lovely. They're coming up to the top, and another little one there. Whoa. I did have a plate to put my onions on. Or thought I'll put them in here. Now this is what I use to just fish everything around in the deep fat. Not quite there. Wash my hands. You can't hurry. It has to be hot enough to crisp the batter, and yet cool enough so that the inside of the batter cooks. Excuse me. Those chilies really are fearsome. I used to make a hot green pepper jelly, and it had chili peppers in it. And when I was making it in my production unit, I used to have all the windows open, even in winter, and people knew when it was hot pepper jelly day. This was in England, and we moved from one farm to another, because we used to live on hobby farms, and we had chimneys, fireplaces with chimneys, and needed a chimney sweep. And we'd moved quite distant, so I phoned up the chimney sweep, and he said, I knew where you were. I remember, I could smell you. So we had to live quite away from people, and he knew it was me because he could smell the chutneys and the jellies cooking. So you can see, this is, the liquid is evaporating, it's almost there. And by that time, I think one round of onions will be cooked. Oh, they look good. They really do. I'll put another one in, and whilst I'm doing the pita bread and serving up, that'll cook, because that looks a bit mean, that one serving. I could eat that without turning an eye. But look, they're nice. I'm going to give them just a few more seconds, and we'll put them in to drain. They will drain for a few minutes. Let's just quickly put in some more. If I hadn't been such an idiot and put the wrong burner on, they would have cooked a bit quicker. But that's the inside of the onion. I don't want that bit. Ah, beautiful. I'm being a bit picky, picking out my onions. I think this will be the last one. No, I can get another one in there, another small one. There we are. We'll put that up there for the time being, and I will finish those off after the show. Let me just wash my hands. It's a little bit messy over there, but not to worry. There we are. That is perfect. So we just turn that down low. I want to keep it warm. I'm going to turn this onion over like that. And I can show you some of the crispy bits that come off the side. It doesn't want to turn. Come on, turn. Oh, isn't it marvellous? I can't turn the wretched thing. There we are. There we are. That'll do. So, I've got a pita bread in the over here. I got a packet of pita breads. And so I want it to come nice and puffy. So I'm going to put it in the microwave just for about 10 to 15 seconds. Let's try it for 10 because this is quite a powerful microwave. Watch it rise. Hopefully, fingers crossed. Let's have a look at it. Not quite. I'm going to do it for another 10. You can put them in the oven at 350, wrap them in tin foil, and it'll take about 10 minutes. There we are. Let's have a look. That's nice and warm. If you hear the dogs bark, we have 4 and they are corralled upstairs, and every so often they will see something out of the bedroom window. They've all got bark collars on and they ignore it. So you see that makes a nice pocket like that, and that's Cokie howling. That's the little one. It's the smallest of the bunch and is the most noisy. Turn this off. Onion rings are cooked. Crispy bits coming out, not many. So the onion rings are just draining. We don't want them to be fatty. And so I'm going to put the onion rings in there. My chicken, let's turn it off, is there. And here's, well, I don't think I'll put the onion rings in there. I'm going to put them on the bowl, on the plate. So let's put some onion rings on the plate. Beautiful crispy onion rings. Look, can't wait. I'm not going to waste any. I'm going to put them all on. And these are the little crispy bits from the batter. As I say, they're the prized bit when you go for your fish and chips in England. You always ask for them. I've got some Italian salad here, all chopped up, and I made just some vinaigrette, just a little vinaigrette to put over the top. You could put any dressing you like on there, but just put, and the vinaigrette dressing is one vinegar to 3 oil. That's the ratio. So if you use it, there's 1 tablespoonful of vinegar I use a white wine vinegar. You can use any sort of vinegar that you like. I use white wine today. So 1 white wine vinegar and 3 oil. Now I used, I've got some herb oils here that I've made. So I use some herb oils, the herb oil, which I put on there. And then look, you've got a nice pocket. Just fill it with some salad, and you know what, you could put an onion ring or 2 just in like that, a little dressing over the top, and that's your finger food. Happy Super Bowl. You could do that for a crowd. Have you, if you've got a crowd coming in, have your chicken already cooked. Just reheat your onion rings, just so you want to put them in batter, fry them up quickly, and then you really do have a feast. So have a wonderful Super Bowl. Thank you for watching. Go to Mrs. Calabash Cooks, like it on Facebook, and share it with a friend. And thank you. And hi guys, I didn't say hello. Bye. Hello, goodbye, all in one. So I'll see you next week, 2 p.m. Bye.